Hi, we're going to look at how we can solve these word problems. Now, one way to solve all of these would be with equations, but I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to show you how we can use proportions. So here's a fact that a percent of a whole is a part. So that means the percent that we have is always out of 100%, and that can be written as a ratio as a part over a whole. So we're going to use that fact to find to solve these different problems, and we're going to be doing various different things. So if I look at this sales tax example, that'll be our simplest one. Sales tax is 6% of the bill. Now, we talked about this before. Whatever comes after the word of, that is your 100%. Whatever comes after the word of is the whole or the total. And that means the sales tax is the 6%. So if I was going to write this as a proportion, I would write 100% on the denominator, and that is the bill. 6% in the numerator, and that's the tax. And then I'm trying to find what the sales tax would be if the bill is $15. So dollars over here. So now I'm going to draw the arrows towards what I don't know. So that means 15 divided by 100 would be 0.15 is my scale factor. So I multiply 6 times 0.15. And I get the tax would be 0.90. Well, that's money, so that'd be 90 cents. And there you go, there's the sales tax. So let's look at a couple other problems that have a little bit more complicated word problems. While mining, Jess found a large metal bar that weighed 25 ounces. Jess was also able to determine that the bar contained 20% zinc. How many ounces are the metal bar? Round your answer to the nearest whole number if necessary. Okay, so this problem does not, if I'm scanning and I'm trying to find the word of to find my 100%, this problem doesn't give that for me. So what I'm going to redo is I'm going to reword what's been given so that I can make a percent sentence. So your percent sentence will look like this. A percent of the whole is the part. So let's see if we can find that. So 20% of the metal bar is zinc. Now that's a fact that's given here. It's given in the problem. You have to find that wording for yourself. It actually doesn't say that exactly, but that's the way to interpret it, that 20% of the metal bar is zinc. So now that I know that, now I know that of the metal bar is our 100%. So whatever the metal bar is, that's the 100%. And the 20% is the zinc. So let me set up my proportion. So what I've done is I've taken the information from the word problem. The 25 ounces is the weight of the bar, and that's the 100%. That's the whole thing. And the 20% is the zinc. So now I can use a scale factor to solve my proportion. So my scale factor is 0.25, so I do 20 times 0.25, and I get 5. So it's 5 ounces is the amount of zinc in the bar. There we go. Reading the next problem, there are 20 students in a class, and 15 of those students pass their geometry test. What percentage of the students pass their geometry test? Round your answer to this whole number. Now, if I'm not careful, I see the word of right here, and I think, oh, of these students. Is that the whole? Well, be careful how you interpret that. It's the 20 students in the class, 15 of these students, that's 15 of the 20, pass their geometry test. Here's our percent statement that we need. What percentage of the students pass their test? So we're actually trying to find the percent here. We're trying to find the percent. So when I set up my proportion, the thing I don't know is the percent. 100% is the total. And in this case, the total is the students, the total students. The other kind of students, the other percent, is the students that passed the test. So now I need to fill in my numbers. So now that I filled in my numbers, I see that 100% is the 20, and I'm actually going this way to find what I don't know. What I don't know is the percent. So I do, my scale factor will be 5 because 20 times 5 is 100. So that means 15 times 5 is how I'm going to find my percent. And the percent will be 15 times 5. I get 75. And the label on that number is percent. So 75% of the students in that class passed their geometry test. So let's look at the last question about Mary. So Mary has to spend $12,000 on expenses each year. If the amount of the money is 80% of her salary. Now I have two ofs here. If that amount of money, that's really more a saying. If that amount of money is 80% of her salary, there's our 100%. Her salaries are 100%. Then how much money does she make working as an accountant each year? So the expenses go with the 80%. The expenses is the 80%. So let me set up the proportion. So the 100% is her salary. We don't know her salary. That's the question. How much money does she make working per year? That's another way of saying what's her salary. So salary is what we're trying to find. We know her expenses every year are $12,000. So now we're going to draw the arrows towards we don't know, and we're going to solve this proportion. So the scale factor, when I find the scale factor, it's times 150 because 80 times 150 is 12,000. So I multiply by 150 and I get $15,000 is her salary. So there you go. So now we've solved each of these problems by using a proportion. And we did it in black and yellow. Have a great day.